What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Ham and Spam Retro Review, the show where two lifelong friends replay the games from our childhood, see if they stand the test of time.
Check us out online at hamandspam.com, where you can find links to our social media, including Twitter, where it's at hamandspam1,
Instagram at Ham and Spam Games,
and search us on Facebook, Ham and Spam Retro Review,
and coming soon to YouTube.
eventually. Thanks for listening.
Hope you enjoy the show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode number 29. In observance of Veterans Day tomorrow, we decided to do a Veterans Day game. Not really a Veterans Day game, but a game for Veterans Day. Call of Duty number 2, Big Red 1. This is kind of an add-on game before there was really DLC. This is an add-on to the original Call of Duty 2. One person that you're kind of realizing that isn't here today is Hammy. Hammy's a bit under the weather, with the rain and the cold setting in here in Alabama. He got a bit of the bug last week, which is why Earthworm Jim was a 30-something minute episode. But he powered through, got through it. He felt better, and then I guess he's got a little bit of a virus this week for episode 29. So had to call in the heavy hitters, and Treet is back with us. She's sitting here laughing, trying not to laugh in the microphone because she doesn't like the name Treet. But
I am a treat.
No, you're a Treet.
A treat.
For those of you who don't know, we try to give everybody meat nicknames on the show, those who are reoccurring people. And Caitlin is one of those. She was going to be Spam Light, but she says she's actually more salty than I am, so it didn't fit. So Hammy gave her Treat. And those of you who don't know what Treat is, it's the
It's off-brand. Off-brand Spam is what they told me it was.
It is. It's like armor brand.
But
Treet.
I have taken to every time they say treat, I say I am a treat.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to maneuver that microphone so it's better in your mouth.
I had it maneuvered and then I moved and now it's.
Well, then stop moving.
Yeah, that's not
Now be
possible.
completely still for the rest of the episode.
Not possible.
So, y'all
Which,
heard?
I was sick last week as well.
Yeah.
And I'm still hacking.
Yeah, I think that's sinuses, cold weather, because it's kind of warm during the day. I mean, it's not super warm, but it's kind of warm during the day,
When
and
you
it's
go
super
from
cool at night.
like 80 degrees to 30.
Yeah. Overnight, pretty much. I remember there was a rain shower that moved through, and there comes the cold weather. So
It was ridiculous. And then it hit me, Saturday?
Yeah.
No, it hit me Friday, but Saturday was worse after sitting outside
with Maze's games and
with
stuff.
Maze's game.
Yeah.
With
Well,
yours and Maze's because I was there all day.
yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, we all, for the most part, work primarily indoor. Well, we do. There's no primarily.
No, it's all indoors.
We all work indoors, so I mean, it's comfortable there, and we're out in it very, very little during the week, but on the weekends with
Which I'm just waiting on a patient to bring in.
bringing a virus or something.
Will it be like, yeah, I'm sick, but I'm here to get my teeth clean?
Well, for those of you that don't know, Caitlin is a dental hygienist assistant.
Not hygienist.
A dental assistant.
There you go.
All right, I said one too many words. So she is in people's mouths all the time. So
I'm not the one in the mouths right now.
well, you're right there. I can just imagine somebody getting their teeth cleaned.
But I'm now in the back.
Yeah.
With the patients more than what I was, and I'm clean. I'm doing the like the lab work and everything.
So like when you have the little the jack thing in their mouth to hold their mouth open and they cough like with their mouth open.
It wouldn't affect me because that's Callie and Doc. No, I did take an impression out of somebody's mouth the other day.
Yummy.
I held somebody's tooth on too the other day. Blood on my glove, you know.
At least you had a glove on. We've all been there. We haven't had gloves on, so.
You know. Sometimes.
So you kind of heard a little bit about Hammy's week already, even though he's not here. Caitlin, anything special going on with your week, other than you've moved back to the back and people?
My feet hurt.
Well,
because I went from standing for like 5 years straight to sitting for a year to now standing again.
Yeah, and it's standing and moving versus just standing are two different things too. So,
and I'm standing more than just.
Well, that's
moving.
why you got to get those, like, I call them Dr. Crocs. That's what they look like.
They're called Hokas. It's the ones I'm looking at, or the ones that I'm looking at.
They look like Dr. Crocs, just without the little holes in them.
They're not Crocs.
For your sweaty,
smelly
feet.
Those are like some goulash looking things. I don't know what you're talking about, but.
I don't know what goulash is. I've always been told growing up it was macaroni and hamburger meat and pasta sauce.
It's probably not goulash.
So if that's
what
it,
are they
that's
called?
It.
Now you're going to make me sit here and think about what they're called.
Well, while you do that, since you don't have anything for the week and bring absolutely nothing to this podcast.
Absolutely. I don't know why I'm here.
My week was about the same as everybody else's. Rain kind of messed us up. The little football team, their last game was last weekend, so Maze's coach has asked me to come up and help out a little bit, and looked at some film and helped with the offensive line and showed them what they had to do. And hey, we pitched a shutout, 34-0. So
it wasn't 34. Was it?
Yep. Don't at me, bro. I know what this one is. I was a big part of that. So
okay, it was 34.
Yep.
I had to look at my picture.
Well, the biggest thing I thought
it was
the
24
0.
is what it was.
No.
That's why I was like, it's not 34.
Well, the biggest thing was the 0. I was happy for the 0 because we put a lot of time in this week with the film prep and everything, and the team they had wasn't a great team, but they had some athletes, and we knew going in what they had and what to expect, and it helped. So
I have a question.
Hold on.
Okay.
Speaking of that football, thankfully, because of Maze's football game being at 4 o'clock Central Time,
you didn't see it.
I missed the Alabama game.
I saw it.
Thankfully, I missed the Alabama game.
Because I had it on my phone watching it. And I got to the point where I was just so mad that I would look at the score, turn it off, and throw it back in Mom's cup holder.
Well, I knew they were down at one point, and then...
Because you asked us from the field. You said, what's the score? And Mom was like numbering, holding her fingers up and everything. Well, then you went to halftime. About the time they were at halftime, and it was like 33-13 at halftime. I was just like... Great. For those you can't see,
Caitlin is doing what we call a hammy face. So if you ever see the emoji on your phone where it's just the smiley face with two eyes and a straight line for a mouth.
That's it.
Or the little dashes for the eyes and then the straight line for the mouth. That's what we call a hammy face.
That's the hammy face. And
it's like lips together, like y'all seen the dog, the little dash hound weenie dog that does that?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's seen that.
Anyway, so I saw it, and then it was doing pretty well on our way home. We were like, oh, okay. And then we got home, because you were still at the field. We were at home, me and Mom, and we were watching. I was like, oh, we have a chance. If we kick this onside kick and get it, we've got it.
Right. They
kick it straight to an LSU player.
Well, no, that's part of it, because you kick it and you hope to get the bounce. Because when I actually watched
right
that,
at an LSU
it bounced
player.
up and they weren't able to get it. I mean, that's
and
it was a perfect onside kick. They just got it.
So
they
mad.
recovered it.
I was just so mad at that point.
I mean, that's the thing, especially in the pros now, with the way the rules are. You very seldom ever get an onside kick anymore. So
anyway.
But
no, I was gonna ask, and I completely forgot what I was about to ask you. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. You should have tabled that like in your head somewhere. Should have just mental note, had it there. But yeah, I got to the field about 8 o'clock yesterday morning.
You were there early.
Yeah, and helped Maze's coach out, who's part of the league. So the league had to get everything together and everything, and helped them out a little bit. They actually had stuff going pretty well, and we showed the team the film and played the game, pitched the shutout. Everybody's happy, go lucky, and then I hung out and helped Maze's coach the rest of the day. We had to get garbage up. We had to get the field taken down, the pylons and all that. So that was the last home game overall for the year for any football. So with all of that said,
one more game?
We got one more game.
One more.
Maze's team is in the championship game. We are playing Alexandria, which I don't know. I was going to really wait about saying the team name, but
oh well.
I don't guess anybody knows. But
I mean, if
those
they
who know,
do,
know. Right.
But
we have to go to
live
Jacksonville.
Here.
We have to play in Jacksonville, which is kind of the way the league is set up because there's two divisions. There's an upper division and a lower division. We're in the lower division, but the winner, the number one seed in the upper division, gets to host the championship game. So,
which is Jacksonville.
Who lost, by the way. They lost their playoff game, so they're, hosting the championship division, and their team's not even there. So,
well, it happens.
It does happen. It does happen.
It happens.
So, but that was pretty much it. Did you remember what you were talking about?
I really don't. I completely blanked on
You're
it.
24. You should not be forgetting things this quickly.
I have the worst memory ever.
Well, as soon as we get done with this, though, I gotta go and be on another, not a podcast. I guess it's a video cast. What would you call Dog Talk? Just a video cast.
I guess
it's a show. It's a local show here
Facebook
for where we're
Live
at.
Show.
Yeah, it's a Facebook Live show here for where we're at
for our high school
athletic stuff. So,
which they also talk about youth and
right, and that's
college.
why we're going because the youth won a pretty big game. So, so we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. But yeah, fun-filled day. So, well, we're gonna take a quick break and
talk about this game that I have not played until 3 hours ago.
So, yeah, hang around and we'll be back just a little bit. All right, welcome back. Hammy's got the recorder, and usually Hammy will stop the podcast. So literally there was like a 10-second just break there that I'm going to have to edit out. Obviously you guys won't hear the 10-second break. We'll edit it out and put something there. But got to figure out what to – yeah, it's just going. I got to figure out what to put there, though. I don't know if it needs to be –
There's really no music.
No, I mean there's like music for the battle scenes and stuff, but
I didn't see any.
I'd almost like to get some of the dialogue from it because some of the dialogue's hilarious in this game. The one like really southern guy. Good job, y'all are here.
No, the one that was like, he said it's much better over here than at home because I'd be selling shoes with my girlfriend's dad. You know, when they take their shoes off, that's just scary. And I said, yeah, because feet are gross.
Yeah, Caitlin was actually paying attention on that one. So, real quick, again, last week, Earthworm Jim, 30-minute episode. We probably didn't do the game a whole lot of justice, and for that we do apologize. Like I said, Hammy was really under the weather. He was here, and as soon as we were over, he went home, and then mustered up the strength to put it all together, and we got it posted. But best wishes to him. Hopefully he feels better here soon. So,
well, I will say about this game that we are reviewing today,
which is
Call of Duty 2 Big Red One.
Look at you! You finally got it all down.
I called it something else earlier, and I don't know what I called it.
It was like Call of Duty Red #1. What?
Call it that Call of Duty game, yeah. So I told Clint beforehand, I said, I'm going to know nothing about this only because I don't play these type of games because I suck.
Yeah, and if you don't know how bad Caitlin sucks,
Just go look at that Facebook video.
I posted a video of Caitlin playing a mission.
That was hard, and it took you a couple of tries.
It took two.
And I played 2 and then quit because I was like, whatever.
Yeah, but you struggled on the airplane mission too. So
I got the airplane mission.
finally,
I got it.
finally,
It's fine.
my airplane's gonna die.
I'm gonna die. That's basically all I say
Exactly.
as I'm playing is I'm going to die. Get out of my way.
Yeah, there's a lot of people getting in the way, and Caitlin's hollering at, "Get out of my way! I'm stuck! I'm stuck." That was probably the
I'm
most
stuck,
common.
And then they're stepping on me because I was laying down sniping, and they
Right.
kept stepping on me. And every time they stepped on me,
Moved
it
a
would
little bit.
it would pop me out of my Zoom.
So again, we picked this game in observance of Veterans Day. So real quick, Veterans Day. Thank you to all of our service members.
Yes,
Without you, we wouldn't be able to do a silly podcast
exactly.
here in Alabama. So appreciate you guys. Short and sweet, but thanks. So this game was released in November 2005. It came out on GameCube, PS2, and the original Xbox.
Yeah,
We
are playing.
we were playing on the GameCube. This was a Hammy pick because he played this game a lot on the GameCube. Clint had never played this game until about a week and a half ago.
You didn't even know the Wii could play GameCube games.
Well, we went over that.
You went over that
in Luigi's Mansion. So
which I have been playing the third one, and it's great.
I've watched you play it, and outside of the motion control side of it,
I absolutely hate the motion control, and I have to have it when I'm playing on the TV. Now on handheld, if I'm holding it,
you can just kind of move it.
well, I don't have to have it because I don't know how I can do it without. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
But I don't have to have it.
Sure, there's a way you can turn that off. Because,
But
I mean, the
with the
first two games didn't have motion control.
Oh,
so.
my gosh. It's the worst. Sitting there trying to shoot something and you move your controller and you shoot the other way.
Well, it sounds like,
ridiculous.
outside of the motion control, it sounds like they still got, a few of like what our complaints were from the first game. And that was you couldn't kind of tell the depth perception so much.
My depth perception is terrible.
It must be off again according to crap, is it Seether?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway.
It's terrible. And then you laugh at me every time I play something that requires depth perception because I always fall off of something.
Yeah, you do. Hey, you are not my kid. We are not related, but there's a lot of similarities that are really, really striking. So, So, yeah, we decided to do this one on GameCube primarily because Hammy had played it a lot, and Hammy talked about how much he loved the game. This game was actually released pretty much side by side with the Call of Duty 2.
Well, because it was released as an expansion / what was it?
It's more of an expansion. It's just a continuation.
Right.
It's just another side of the story of everything going on. Because obviously World War II is a huge
side story.
You're right.
Was what I was looking for.
World War II was a huge ordeal. So I mean, there's not just one thing going on here.
No,
and that's the one thing I kind of liked about this game, because it kind of explored some different areas that haven't really been explored in other Call of Duty games.
We were in Africa
We were in North Africa, and then we went to Sicily.
I think after that you do D-Day.
And then you go on to D-Day. But I've got more to talk about when we get to that part. This one right here was a difficult game to review for me because the controls aren't your typical Call of Duty controls.
No.
They're a little bit off. I mean, it's not that you can't do everything that you've always done on it. It's just just a little bit different. Like
you're playing on a GameCube controller and you're not really used to that setup.
Right.
Which
I mean, the GameCube controller is, I believe Xbox kind of
played off of
it whenever they made their 360 and Xbox One controllers.
Which I told you before we started recording, holding this controller.
It's very comfortable in your hands.
It's comfortable, and it's not hard
to
get to the buttons
like,
either.
if those two L and R buttons there, if they were more triggers like the Xbox, I think I would have liked them a little bit more because they are pressure sensitive, but they slide in. They slide all the way in. They don't really trigger.
Yeah, you can't just barely touch it. You have to.
Right. It seems like you got to put a lot of force behind it, but it is pressure sensitive. You can slowly mash it.
Yeah.
And be able to do whatever you need to do with
My
it.
issue is I thought there were fork triggers.
Oh.
And you should have seen me going.
Yeah, you're hitting a phantom button there.
A phantom button, and I kept hitting this button and throwing grenades, and
yeah,
it's not a good time.
Well, and traditionally,
we didn't know how to reload either.
We found it out eventually with A.
Maybe.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Did it work for you?
Yeah.
Because I don't know how I did it earlier.
But like traditionally, if you push B, that's what your crouch and your prone on Xbox. So that's kind of, I guess, X on that because Y is the top.
Yes. Although A is dead center.
Yeah. But see, I don't know. It's just.
But the actual B button was what hit
the melee. Yeah. See,
X
that was a trigger
crouched.
button. X would crouch.
You had to hit it twice to lay down.
But see, the X, where X is on that would be B on PlayStation. So that's still correct.
Let's say here's one.
Or PlayStation on the Xbox.
Yeah, basically the only controls that are not this. It's just X and B have swapped sides.
Right. But they do this. They do the same function. But like your jumping button is Y. That's the one that you would primarily switch weapons on.
Yes.
Your regular Call of Duty games.
Yes,
newer.
because we were sitting here going, because you had told me when I first started playing, hey, you can't hold two guns, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I just assumed you couldn't hold two guns, and all of a sudden Caitlin's mashing buttons because she doesn't know what she's doing.
Well,
and
no,
she switches
what
guns.
happened was I had picked up. What was it? The grenade launcher or the rocket launcher or whatever.
Yeah, that big bazooka looking thing.
And I was shooting, and then it's automatically swapped me over, and I was like, well, what the crap?
Yeah.
I thought I dropped this gun, and I'm over here pressing buttons, and I figured it out that you have to hit up on the D-pad.
Well, anyone who's played Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 2 was not really a exclusive for the new Xbox 360. Because it ended up being out on PC as well. But when you've got a game that goes to the newer technology and a new engine and the way things look are completely different, and you step back to do a continuation of an expansion pack on an older system, it looks a bit blocky. And that's what that's the first thing I noticed with this one. And I don't do a whole lot of visual stuff, but it was very, very noticeable.
Yes. Not as blocky as some of the older games, but
no.
It's still. There are times where you would look at a person and go, "Ooh, what's wrong with your face?"
Like the brightness was off just a little bit and things like that. So, but if you ever played a Call of Duty game, once you kind of remember the buttons and stuff, you can jump right back into it. I say that, with a big, huge asterisk on it because Caitlin doesn't play these games very much.
No, because
she sucks.
No, it's not. Well, yes.
Yes, it is absolutely because you suck.
I told Clint, though, going into it, if I would have, I guess, started with this game, or a game like this, I would be okay, because I wasn't too bad.
Right.
For certain missions, I was not too bad. I was doing pretty good, sniping people, stuff like that. But then, certain missions, like, having to aim at airplanes.
Right.
Not knowing where they're coming from. You can hear them. You even said, I hear it, but I don't know where it's at.
Yeah. Well, whenever Call of Duty came out, the first one, the original came out, it had two games as well that kind of did this, and it was Call of Duty Finest Hour and Call of Duty United Defensive. And I believe this is a direct follow-up to United Defensive.
How many Call of Duty games are there?
Well, you got Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3. Then you got,
I knew 3.
Then you got 2 expansions with the original Call of Duty, so there's 5. You got this expansion with Call of Duty 2, which is 6. Then
Call
you got
of Duty Modern Warfare, right?
Well, hold on. I don't know. They have a Call of Duty 3, which takes place more like in the desert. I think it's more like Africa and things like that. Call of Duty 4 came out, and it was called Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
So then you had Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, which was 4, and then 2, then 3.
Yes.
And they just re-released Call of Duty, and it's called completely Modern Warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Then since then, they've also had World at War.
Yeah.
They've had Black Ops 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
It seems like I'm probably missing some in there
Isn't
too.
that Ghost Recon a new one?
No, that's Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon.
Okay,
That's a different series.
I thought that was a Call of Duty.
I'm missing one somewhere. If Maze was here, he could tell me.
Maze probably could, but I guess it's the newer ones that are just so fast paced and high tech. Well, that
exactly.
and the battle, like when you're versus people online playing.
Yeah, the multiplayer is what everybody does now, and actually, Call of Duty. Black Ops 4, I had to remember which one it was. Black Ops 4 doesn't have a campaign at all.
It's strictly
multiplayer.
Yeah, and I think that's where I'd just been like, all right, I suck.
Yeah.
Because I remember playing against Maze when he was a lot younger. We were playing in the living room, I think Andrew and then we're here.
Right, and that was Call of Duty 2, Black Ops 2.
And I remember because Maze and Andrew were playing, and he said, no, don't shoot me, Andrew. I'm trying to fix my gun. And so Andrew does it. Maze turns and kills him.
This is his only kill the entire time.
But Maze, I mean, that was the only person I could beat.
That was
Maze.
the last one that I believe that I played multiplayer a lot.
Yeah.
Because I actually had a copy. At the time, I had 2 Xbox 360s.
Yes.
So we had
one
2 copies.
Here,
we had one here in the game room suite, and then we had one in the living room, and we had the Xbox in there. And we would play each other.
Hammy and Alex would
they were unstoppable.
They would come in here, and you would be in the living room.
Yep. And Andrew was really, really good at the game, so that was a good 4th player too. But I played a little bit of Black Ops 3 on Xbox One with Maze. It just wasn't the same. I guess there was just something there that just kind of, there was a line there, and after that, I just kind of got out of it.
And it's so fast paced.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you're not fast enough, if you're not, like, you saw me, I had to, like, sit there and get my sight set on somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And it took me forever. Oh, no, that would not have.
No, you'd have been dead already.
I would have been dead within
Unless you're
5
playing
seconds.
with preschoolers, which, the way things are today, the preschoolers probably would have killed you.
They would probably have killed me, too. Because I just remember, too, Mace trying to get me to play Halo one time when I babysat him.
Right. Quote, unquote.
Quote, unquote, babysat
You're throwing up quotes like people can see you.
Exactly.
Well, that's a good thing. That just means that you're in the zone and you and I are talking. We're not worried about recording.
He got mad at me
dozens
because I didn't know
and
how to
dozens
do
of
it.
people hearing this.
I didn't know anything about Halo, and he's like, "No, you got to do this. You got here. I'll show you." And he really wanted me to play, and I'm just like, "Dude."
Yeah. It's a lot, but at the time, if you could have got just a little bit better, you could have schooled him, and we probably wouldn't have the monster that we have.
Not anymore, because no.
I got into a sniper battle with him on.
What is he playing a lot of now? Rainbow Six Siege.
But Minecraft right now a lot too.
Well, he's going back and forth.
He's going back and forth, but he's playing more Minecraft than he is. What are the other stupid game of Fortnite?
Yeah, he's not been playing Fortnite at all. I don't think.
No, not really. He beat me. I have full discretion here.
He let me play Fortnite the other day.
Oh, did he?
And I died.
Well, we played college football the other day just because he was itching, and I told him, so if you want to do it, now's the time to do it because I'm out of practice, and I am. Mm-hmm. And he ended up beating me by 1 point. And it was such a bull crap. I didn't throw any controllers, full disclosure, but it was a bull crap play.
But didn't you turn around and replay him right after and beat him?
Well, I played him again right after, and it's a close game, and I told him to take the field goal because it would have put him up by 2 scores. But no, he doesn't. He goes for a fake punt and doesn't do anything with it. And I go down and I score, and he tried a fake field goal earlier and missed it, so I'm up by 1 at this point. Then he throws a pick, and he's like, "Oh, I'm out. I'm done." I said, "Maze, all you can do is stop me." So he plays a little bit longer, and I'm chewing the clock. I mean, I'm playing football.
Well, what you do?
Well, he's got 3 timeouts, and he just never uses them. Then he gets mad at me for chewing up the clock. I'm like, you should be mad at yourself for not using timeouts. So he's got to learn some situational football stuff. But you'd be surprised how much football he can learn from a video game. So.
Exactly. Well, anyway, back to.
Yeah, we went down on a pig trail.
Well, I asked you a Call of Duty question, and then it expanded.
It's fun. It's spun out of control. The one neat thing about this particular game is it's very character-driven, where all the other Call of Duties are story-driven and location-driven. Mm-hmm. This particular one is character-driven, or, for lack of a better term, unit-driven, because you follow one unit the entire war, or the entire campaign here.
Yeah.
Which is odd because usually you're swapping back and forth. You might be on your traditional Call of Duty games. You might be on the American side at one point, and then maybe the Russian side at another. Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this one here follows one particular unit, who's the Big Red One. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Big Red One is the longest running infantry division. I
love
believe.
how you say that with a question mark. For me,
It's
like
implied. It's implied.
Like I'm gonna know right offhand.
Well, as our listeners know, we're either going to do really, really good research or we're going to do a really, really good playthrough. And I think we actually
dropped the ball a lot on this one, a little bit.
Well, not really. I mean, we had a really good playthrough. We didn't get all the way through it.
I played a pretty good bit considering I've never really enjoyed.
Sure. Hammy sent me a text message probably about 11 o'clock. He was supposed to come over and we were going to record at 2 as it's 3:45 now.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, I'm not going to make it. I was up all night, not feeling good. We're going to call an audible. And I'm like, okay, so do you want to change the game or you want to keep it? And he said, well, you can keep it, but you just got to be able to talk about it. So I immediately went to Caitlin and said, hey, I love you. I need your help, and you can't say no.
I had headphones on watching a video, and he just came in there, took my phone from me, took the headphones off, and was like, hey, I love you. Can you help me with something? And I was like, I don't like where this is going. I don't want to now.
When you say it like that, no, I do not.
Exactly. So.
But, so yeah, we scrambled real quick, and I got Caitlin to play through it a little bit so she could actually give her perspective. So
the first words out of my mouth were,
I've never played that game.
I'm not going to have anything to talk about because I never played that game or any game like it.
True. So.
And you said, well, I guess we're going to have to go. He said, we're going to go in here and play it. Maybe you can look up some facts or something about it, which I didn't look up many. But
no, she didn't.
I played more than what I thought I was going to.
Well, I actually made you play more on purpose. So.
Well, then you left at one point to go get apple juice, which is still sitting in here, by the way. Don't forget about it.
I had to use the bathroom. I'm going to edit this part out, but probably not.
You're going to forget.
I'm going to forget.
And I'm going to listen. I'm actually not going to listen to this episode because I'm in it.
No, you'll listen to it.
I didn't listen to the last one I was in.
You can't stand the way you sound, can you?
No. Not after I've been told I sound like that daggum pothole commercial.
That's your mother.
It wasn't just Mom. It's whoever works with Hammy. A friend of Hammy's.
Oh, it was Jeff, wasn't it? It was Jeff.
I think it was Jeff said, hey, she sounds like the pothole commercial. And I was just like, thanks
I'm
for
a
that.
pothole.
I was like, thanks for that.
Oh, no, look at that. Your tire's all flat and junk.
Which, let me tell you, when that commercial came out, we would quote the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, your tire's all flat and junk.
So, back on the game because you've... Oh, my gosh.
Sorry, my nose is running.
We'll go catch it. Haha, dad joke. So yeah, you play as one unit as through the entire campaign. The voice acting is from Band of Brothers.
That was like the one fact I looked up and you took it from me.
Yeah, I did. You're welcome. So at this time, Band of Brothers was a big thing on
HBO show.
Okay, keep going.
No, that's
keep
it.
Going
that's all I got.
I've
got the names, but I'm not gonna say them because, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's a little too much detail for the Ham and Spam and Treat Retro Review.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at it going, some of these names are suspect, and I'm not saying that.
It's like Shinsuke Nakamura. Don't you dare say it. Don't you say what you're about to say.
I was about to, because you know.
So we touched on a little bit earlier. This game puts you in North Africa and Sicily, Italy, which are two areas that weren't really covered in past.
Say Italy again.
Italy.
You didn't. You almost said Italy, like
Italy.
Like
Italy.
with a D.
Italy.
It's got a T
Italy.
in it, not a D.
There's a joke there, and we'll keep it to myself. And then towards the end of the game, you also cover the invasion of Normandy, D-Day.
We didn't get that far.
Some of the we didn't get that far on the playthrough. You know, now we might continue on, but we had to get this done up because our afternoon is going to be taken up.
We failed actually.
Were we on Husky? No, we got past Husky.
No. We're on like the piano whatever place.
Oh yeah, we had to get in the half truck or the half tank.
It's the video that Clint has shown of me shooting airplanes.
Yes.
You got further than I did and then gave me the controller.
And then you sucked again. And
I ran straight into enemy fire and didn't realize who was my guy and who wasn't and then died. And it said, I'm sitting here staring at the screen that says, mission failed, you have died.
Well, that was one of the things that was kind of the knock on this game a little bit was...
There's no respawn.
There's no respawn.
You have to go back to a checkpoint, which could be...
Well, that's kind of the same thing.
I chuckled because it was like, it says restart at checkpoint or restart level. And it was this level that I had first started shooting the airplanes. And, you know, it actually said mission failed. All the things have, like, been blown up. And so it was like restart from checkpoint or restart level. And no joke, the checkpoint is the beginning of the level. I was like, would you look at that?
Oh, you suck. One of the things that people had a big issue with was there was a ton of turret sequences in this game. Everywhere you turn, you're in a turret. You know, I think in the very first level you're in a turret.
I didn't say that.
You're in a turret at the airplane level.
Yeah.
You're in a tank, like in the second or third level.
You played the tank one.
Right.
And I kept saying you're going to die.
Yeah.
You're going to die.
And I died one time. Because this is me playing Call of Duty because I know how Call of Duty works.
No, you died
Call of
because
Duty.
I said, I don't think that thing has been blown up. Go blow it up. And you went and got right beside it and blew it up and blew yourself up.
Yeah. So I blame that one on you too.
You did it.
But here's the thing about Call of Duty, and most all these games are the same as far as the campaign goes. When you're advancing through a level, if you kind of stay in an area and keep trying to clear people out,
they're just gonna keep
and then wait till a break to advance, you got to keep moving up. You know, even if you're getting shot at, you've got to keep moving up
because your guys aren't gonna move unless you move.
Right.
And you could be sitting in one spot at the beginning of the daggum level.
Yep.
Because you're not moving.
Yep. And it's funny because there's a show that you may or may not have watched a lot of called Futurama.
I've only seen some.
Well, you need to watch it because it's fantastic. It's the early episodes, not that crap they come up with afterwards. But one of the characters on there, his name is Zap Brannigan. He's like this spaceship commander or whatever.
Okay.
And they want to give him a medal because he finally destroyed these killbots. And they said, well, how did you defeat them? Yeah, I just did air quotes too, so sue me. So anyway, there's these killbots, and he said, well, you had to make them reach their limit until they, exploded or whatever. And he said, well, how did you do that? And he said, well, we just sent wave after wave of men, and they just gunned them down until they hit their kill limit. So that's basically what Call of Duty is. If you just sit there, you can just, get your kill limit.
Well, because I sat in one spot and was sniping somebody, and you're like, you're going to have to keep moving forward. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I got this. And
then that guy came right back.
I was like,
there's a guy around the corner, and he's sitting there picking, at Caitlin a little bit. So she finally gets and says, yeah, what you like? And she starts going to somebody else, and she comes back and says, oh, my God, that guy's back. And I said, yeah, you got to keep going. So, I thought that the coolest level was probably the airplane level, even though I didn't play it. It was just, it's neat.
It was really neat. Now, apparently, either I just really suck or sometimes it was glitchy because I couldn't move at certain spots.
Yeah, and that's got to do with the blockiness, I think, of the game because you get stuck on a lot of things.
I was stuck. I was stuck on a rock earlier in the game. Like, all the other guys are walking over, and I'm like a centimeter over,
right?
And I can't get over this rock.
Right. Well, at that time, either you didn't know you could jump, too, so.
Well, there is that. But, you said, do you not have a jump? And I was like, I don't know what it is if I do.
Why?
No, we went through all the buttons before.
No, it was Y.
It is Y. I know that.
I told you it was Y.
No, you didn't. You said hit B, and B, did the melee.
No, B was when I was trying to figure out how to reload.
No, it wasn't.
Liar. Anyway, so obviously, everybody knows how this turns out. We win. Roll Tide, America.
What?
Roll Tide, America.
Spoiler alert.
So
It's like this watching Turn.
yeah, for real.
Mom got so mad at us.
So we'll tell that story on the backside of the episode. But Big Red 1 is consisted of a group of guys, and everybody has their town nickname. Well, good job. There's
I'm
one
playing
guy.
with the controller wire. Sorry.
There's one gentleman whose name is Brooklyn in the game, and he continually tells you throughout the game he's from the Bronx. So it's kind of a inside, New York boroughs joke. Brooklyn unfortunately does not make it. Brooklyn dies at the end, so that's kind of the heart tug there that Call of Duty kind of does. I don't know if that necessarily started their issue, with trying to give something a little out of left field or things like that. I know there's, and I won't go to a whole lot of detail, but there's some controversial levels in some of their games, especially the Modern Warfare games, where you can actually skip that controversy from the very beginning. It just says, look, this game does something. If you're not good with it, hit skip now, but if you're okay with it, play through it. Right. So, again, I don't know if this necessarily starts it or not. I know there's a lot of plot twists and things like that, but Brooklyn does die. Kelly lives.
Are these last names?
No, Brooklyn is a nickname.
Okay. I was going to say...
I don't remember that green name coming up when I was pointing guns at him and
right?
shooting him.
Well, I shot a couple of our guys, but it didn't actually do anything to them.
Right.
But
thankfully,
because
in the newer games you shoot them too many
dead.
times, they die, then you have to go back to the last checkpoint. So,
yeah.
and then the lieutenant gets injured, he gets sent home. Obviously, like I said earlier, we win the war in the game. So, Caitlin did kind of struggle a little bit with some of the turret stuff. And this is an issue that I have with the Call of Duty games a lot of times too, is I can't tell who's on my team half the time. They all look the same.
Everything looked the same. Like when we were doing the planes, I was like, am I shooting the right planes?
Well, the ones that are flying beside you are usually the ones that...
But
Well, yeah, right there at the start, you're coming up on the backside of a bunch of planes, so then you got tons of planes all around.
Well, there at the very beginning, I was like, am I shooting the right planes? I don't think these are the right planes. And you're like, no, I think they are because they're shooting at them. And I was like, I mean, are you 100%? Because...
Right.
But I got better after, because we restarted it because we thought it had messed up.
Yeah, because
the bombs.
Right, because you have to do the big planes at the front, and then you have to do the bomb drop on the... You have to play Battleship. You have to play War Battleship.
I didn't realize that you are only supposed to shoot like one bomb at each, ship.
Yeah, Caitlin's just dropping them all. And she got the first ship. It's like, yeah, this is pretty easy. And got the second one and started hitting the button. It's like, you got to save these for the destroyer.
And I'm just like, and then they're hollering, shoot those ships, shoot those ships. And I'm like, I can't. It's not working. And then so you were like, well, restart it. See if that's what's wrong with it. And I did it again, but
nah, fam. Well, again, to me, that was the probably the best level, in my opinion.
You right out the bat saw it and said, "Ooh, Star Wars."
Oh yeah, because you're in that little
you're in that thing
that front turret
and
that kind of
it's got two guns, and when you start moving, you're like, "Ooh, Star Wars."
And then you go to the
side or the back.
The bubble turret at the bottom, that's 360 all the way around.
Yeah.
That one's pretty awesome.
But you were like, ooh, Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars. Caitlin, this is from Star Wars. Caitlin, you would watch Star Wars. You would like it. She won't watch Star Wars. Send all of your hate for Caitlin about her Star Wars.
I've seen the newer Star Wars. I know that's not real Star Wars because everybody hates the newer ones.
You're talking about new, like 7 and 8. Episode 7, episode 8.
Well, you made us go see them at Christmas.
Yeah, that was episode 7, and you wouldn't go with episode 8.
No, I went.
But you did go see Rogue One.
I did go see Rogue One. I didn't see.
So there's 3 of the newest ones.
I didn't see the Solo one either. Did you go see this? You and Maze didn't.
We didn't watch it. No, me and Maze and Jake went to go see 8.
That's right.
Solo came out. We said something about going to go see it, and then everybody's like, "Oh, it's terrible, it's terrible."
So you didn't go see it.
So we didn't go see it, but we did watch it, and honestly, it's not a bad movie.
Okay. Honestly, the only reason I've not watched Star Wars
Because of me.
It's because of you.
Yeah.
You and you're like, oh, you've got to watch it. You've got to watch it. No, I'm just like, no, I'm not watching it. But
I love you.
the
You will
joke-
watch Thor. You will watch
the running
Captain
joke
America.
was the reason I wouldn't watch Star Wars is because that time in, I think it was 7th or 8th grade, that the kid got mad after he got stabbed in the nose and threw a book across the room and it hit me in the face. It was a Star Wars book.
Mm.
And I said, that's why I won't watch Star Wars, because I got hit in the face with a book. And it made my braces cut my lip open.
Mm.
I was bleeding everywhere.
So your braces just all of a sudden wielded a knife and started cutting your lip.
No, it hit me right here. I honestly thought I broke my nose.
It's funny because it's like when somebody says, hey, that kid's got lice, and all of a sudden you feel it on you, start scratching. Like, you just started
Messing with my
messing
I have
with
a
your lip.
scar. I have a little bit of
Okay.
a scar on the inside of my lip where the brace, because the book had hit me right on the lip and I had braces, so it pushed my lip into the braces, and I was bleeding. And then the teacher, I said, "Can I go to the nurse?" I had my hands over my mouth, and she was like, she heard us going on this rant about how I had to do our business during class change, and as she's ranting, I moved my hands and there's just blood everywhere. She's like, "Oh yeah, go to the nurse." I was like, I mean, if you would have just let me go to begin with.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to go on this rant, lady.
Exactly.
Or man, whichever one
It was a lady.
Okay, lady.
But
You ought to beat the crap out of that kid.
no, it was, so she had split the boys up on one side of the room and the girls were on the other, and it was right before class had started. And apparently 2 of the boys, which I can tell you how I was told what happened afterwards, but they were fighting, and I find out later what had happened, and no joke, this is how it was told to me, was Cameron and Big Steve were fighting, and Cameron stabbed Big Steve in the face with a pencil, and Big Steve got mad and threw a book, and everybody dodged it but me.
So somebody got stabbed in the face with a pencil. So the retort to that was to throw a paperback book.
It was not a paperback, it was a hardback.
Oh, okay.
That's why it cut my lip open.
Okay, well, I'll just assume you got, cut with a paperback book.
Anyway.
So that's
Good
the
old
closest
middle
thing.
school.
The only way we can segue this into what we're talking about, that is the closest thing to war Caitlin's ever seen.
Yes. Well, now I've been hit in the face with a stress ball, too, by a teacher on accident.
Which teacher?
Coach
Smurf?
Taylor.
Oh,
It was middle school.
okay.
I don't know if you know Coach Taylor.
No, I don't.
He was...
Okay, we're good. I don't want to
you're
hear. We're good.
He would pass the ball.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. We're good.
He would pass.
You're about to cuss me so bad right now. I can tell from your face.
He would pass.
No, we're
the
good. I
ball
don't wanna
back
hear
and
this
forth
story.
between baseball players, and he said my name as he's throwing the ball, and I turn and it hits me square in the eye.
Yeah, you didn't think fast.
And well, no, and then he was like, "Well, here, I'm so sorry. You can hit me," and I cannot see at this point because he's just hit me in the face.
So he went like all Big Brother on you.
Here, hit me.
Exactly. Because I've done that to my sister before. Like I hit her with something, or like, okay, don't tell mom you can hit me back.
Yeah, he's like,
We'll
"Oh,
make
I'm
it
so sorry.
even."
I'm so sorry. Here, hit me," and I can't see, and I throw the ball and miss him completely. He was like, "Are you serious?" I said, "Well, I can't see, Coach Taylor." He's the one I told you would do the quizzes, and the very last question would be, "Who's the best college football team?" And all the answers would be Alabama.
Mm.
Or if a tree fell in the woods and nobody was around, would it make a sound?
Yes.
And but that was the question.
I never understood those brain teaser questions. Although my favorite answer to this brain teaser question, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
What is
The brain teaser, the answer that I love is the egg, because dinosaurs were laying eggs millions of years before chickens were ever around. So
cool?
it's a technicality.
Technicalities.
So,
Anyway.
So when we get to like episode 500, I'm going to say that very quote and see how many people actually get the right answer because of this episode. Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you, Treet.
I am a treat.
So let's finish up real quick, if possible.
Maybe.
Likes and dislikes. I liked the airplane level.
Yeah. That one was cool. I just didn't like parts of it. I got better. I was better the second time going through.
Right.
Because I knew
Right.
what was going on. That first little bit, I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be shooting these planes. And then I'd shoot them.
And then you started shooting your own allies, which
Well, no,
is
I
a
would
staple for you, apparently.
I would shoot them, but then I wouldn't, I guess, kill them all the way.
Right. They'd just be smoking.
And you're like, that plane's not dead. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Went to the next one.
Yeah.
But the second time around, I did better.
Right.
Because how many people did I kill? Like 20 something,
Oh,
30 something.
it's like 33, I think, is what you got.
I was
in that
like,
level.
yes.
So that wasn't bad at all. A dislike about this level, I did not like the tank level. I was not huge on the tank level because and rightfully so. It takes forever for
there's
the big,
no health one.
Right, there's no health for the tank, so all the big explosions
When
that you're
5
taking.
tanks come out.
Exactly, and it takes forever to reload, which is realistic. I mean, it's not like boom, 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 boom.
Well, you were sitting there clicking, and it's like click, 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 click.
Yeah.
Like it's just not doing anything.
And it's just they were coming from all over. It's not quite a sandbox level, but it's very vast in the fact that they can come from anywhere within that area. So, and even though it was a little bit tedious, I did like that level you were struggling on a little bit after I played through it a little bit.
Well, we figured it out that on the map it shows
the star.
Little stars.
Well, see, and
at first we thought, okay, that's the stuff we've got to
protect. That's an
protect.
objective that we got to protect, right?
But, and I kept losing. Well, then Clint did it, lost, the one time.
One time.
And then I looked at it.
Because I was like, I can't tell where these guys are coming from.
And about that time he's saying that, I realized it's these little stars. They pop up, and that's the plane you have to shoot down.
The first time that's what I was doing, I was like, okay, well, the star's got to be the enemy. So I'm looking at a star and looking for an enemy. I was like, I don't see it. And then all of a sudden, here comes a plane from behind me.
Well, because it would have.
So, like, I'm looking at where the star is, and a plane would come behind me, and I saw it bomb, and I was like, well, crap, that's telling me to, that's my objective. So if I'm looking at the objective, the plane's got to be coming from the opposite way or what? So.
But then we figured it out, got through it, up until the point where I died.
Well, yeah.
Because you had to go get the computer.
Yeah, I had to go get the stuff to record. So, another thing I wasn't real thrilled with. One of the things I was going to say was you couldn't switch the weapon until we figured that out. Until Caitlin figured that out.
He was like, first thing, you can't carry more than one weapon. I was like, okay, cool. Picked up that. Well, then I picked up that automatic rifle or whatever, and you're like, oh, well, they've done messed up because I was just going to town.
Yeah, when Caitlin first picked up the game, she was just shooting. Like, it didn't matter if you were in the sights or not. She wasn't going to aim down the sights. It was going to be no scope. She's just shooting.
Well, then I got better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's how you said that. Yeah. And looking around.
When you got the automatic weapon, that obviously helped. But also when you learned that you could aim down the sights a little bit too, that helped. So, another thing I did not like about the game was the health. The health side of it, and it's kind of like, I don't want to compare it to Halo, but with Halo 1, you had to go around and find health packs. Like you had a shield, but when the shield went down, your health went down. Well, this right here, obviously, you don't have a shield, but your health will continue to go down. You'll have to find health packs. Mm-hmm. Whereas in your later, even Call of Duty 2, your later ones, they would, it was a regeneration health. You'd stay still for a little bit, and your health would come back.
And that,
probably not
Assassin's
super
Creed
realistic.
too,
right.
So.
Assassin's Creed also.
Yeah.
Yeah. TOO.
Yeah.
You have to specify when there's sequels.
Yeah, I know. I said it, and then I was like,
was it 2? I don't know. But that was another thing that I wasn't real keen on, because sometimes it kind of.
There were now that, don't get me wrong, they had like 5 medic pack or
wherever
first
you were,
aids, but then.
Well, it didn't matter if you needed it or not. If you ran over it, you used it.
Yeah, and.
So.
Yeah, but. Because I think I had some. They were there.
Right.
Went out, went to kill these guys, killed them. The guys started running. I was like, oh, crap, I need help. Went back, and they were all gone. I was like, well, crap.
Yeah, there's 5 here. There's no way I used them all. Well, the game makes you, or lets you automatically use them as you go by them. I
was like, well, that's ridiculous, because I could have used them now.
And it didn't happen every time, but it did happen from time to time, to where, like, if you ran over some ammo, it would do the same thing.
Well, yeah, I think I realized that.
Like, you had to hit
something.
A lot of times to actually pick up the ammo. And I don't know if that's for your primary or your secondary weapon, but
I picked up a lot of ammo at one point. I don't know what it was for, but I picked up a bunch of ammo.
Well, that's why, you're making fun of me clicking for the tanks. That's why I hear you clicking all the time, because every time you run across something, you're just hitting A. You didn't care what it was.
I could have been changing guns every 5 seconds.
Exactly. So
there were a bit of pros and cons. I think, though, like I said earlier, if I would have started with something like this, more slow-paced,
yeah.
Slow-paced, I would have been better at the
because it got a little faster as it went, and you would have graduated up. So
exactly.
That makes sense.
But I've just never really enjoyed playing.
Well, because of the multiplayer. Multiplayer turns some people off. Multiplayer turned me off to Halo for a long time.
I just don't like it because I'm just not good at it.
Right.
And that's just it. I mean, I'd much rather play like Luigi's something.
Animal Crossing.
I love Animal Crossing. I'm so ready for it to come out. Just something.
Zelda.
I did like Zelda.
Yeah.
RPG, I guess. Role-playing games.
That's what RPG stands for.
But there are different variations of
But I'm going to do this for Hammy. Zelda is not an RPG.
And I know it's not.
Okay. As long as you know that. Because you said Zelda, then RPG.
I know. But
okay.
I thought about it, too.
So, all right. So, you enjoyed it
Yes.
for your first time and me having to throw you into it to get through this episode.
Like me thrown in the deep end to play it.
And you swam. Congratulations.
Yay! Died a couple of times, but, it's fine.
Well, it's just not knowing
I died
what to
less
expect.
than what I thought I would die.
Sure.
Let me say that.
But see, you're probably used to playing some of the newer ones where you get to regen health. You don't have to look for
not
health.
so much
and
that
things like
either, but
well, like you can get behind a wall and get better.
yeah. But then at the same time, I wouldn't have that enough time to do that. I would have been dead.
In a multiplayer match, you mean? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, headshot dead.
Headshot dead, done. Like two seconds in, dead.
So somebody that's never played this game, would you recommend it?
Yes and no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Somebody new that doesn't play a lot of video games but kind of wants to get into it. Would you recommend this one to start?
I don't really know that I would.
Okay.
In the sense of the blockiness and some of the issues like with the.
It's not real smooth.
No,
it's
not smooth. I feel like it would turn somebody off if
Okay.
they've never played something before.
Okay.
Now.
That's funny that you contradict yourself though, because you just said how much if you would have had this game to start off with.
But I also played more video games.
That's true. That's true.
You stated that as like somebody that's never played before. Would you recommend this one? Probably not. Because
No, not someone that's
now,
not played a multiplayer or a Call of Duty.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. Yes.
Not if you're gonna start with Mario. I mean that's about as simple as you can get, and then it gets harder as it goes. I mean if you're wanting to get into first person shooters,
this one
sure. I mean as long as you've got
more
it.
of the beginning.
Right.
Before the multiplayer and the,
right.
the more fast-paced
and
battle royale style stuff.
I don't know how many people would have a PlayStation 2 or an Xbox or a GameCube just laying around, so it'd be hard to really find this game and suggest them to play it. Also,
I had a GameCube growing up.
Yeah, nobody cares.
I think it had I don't know if it was the GameCube or the PlayStation 2 that had the karaoke game.
Probably the PlayStation 2.
Which one would have had the Sonic? Because I had a Sonic game. I don't remember
GameCube.
I don't remember what it was, but I played it Shadow GameCube. A lot.
Yeah. Ugh. Let's not go there. So,
but I did play a Sonic game. So
I guess 3D Sonic's not the same as 2D Sonic though. So
I'd go down a street and it was weird.
Yeah, that's 3D Sonic.
It was weird.
It's weird. Okay, well, I liked it. I liked playing through. I liked the story. It was different in the fact that, like I said, it followed one group versus you
being dropped into different places.
Sure.
You would be the same person.
The same person every time.
You would go to different.
So that's something I hadn't really experienced with a Call of Duty game. So that was neat for sure too. So, I'd recommend it if you had a chance to play it, play through it.
Especially if you're trying to start off on some shooter games.
Sure.
It's not first person, or is it third person?
This one?
Yeah.
It's first person.
Well, I got corrected one time. It was third. I don't remember.
First person is you looking out, holding a gun. Third person is the camera's behind you.
Well, I suck at both.
Or if you played Shadows of the Empire, there's a second person view where you're literally running toward the camera every time.
Nope.
Hammy will enjoy that one. Hammy, that one's for you, buddy. I hope
camera angles are what kills me.
Yeah, especially fixed cameras and stuff.
Ugh.
Resident Evil.
Ugh.
Oh, we still got to play through that.
I ain't been playing it. For those of you that wanted to know, I've not been playing it.
Well, when we get it set up, we're going to actually get you some video of that, of Caitlin's playthrough and her audio of it.
it's gonna be not family friendly.
Well, we'll put the Mario coin in there.
It's gonna be
since you made
continual Mario coin.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, that's our review. Hit us up.
Are we gonna tell our story?
Yeah, we'll tell it. Let's take a break real quick. And
Okay.
We'll come back with that. Okay.
Okay.
All right, welcome back. We did the exact same thing where we waited 10 seconds and came back. So go ahead with your story because I forgot. Did you remember the thing from the front part that you?
No,
Okay.
never will remember that.
Okay.
I'll remember it at midnight tonight.
Well, come on here and we'll record it and we'll put it out with it. We'll put it on Facebook or something.
So
Twitter.
For those of you who probably, I guess, hopefully have seen it, AMC had a TV show called Turn.
Oh yeah, this story. Okay.
Which was about the American Revolution.
Okay, well, this right here segues because, obviously we helped win World War II, and Caitlin said, oh, no, spoiler alert, surprise.
This is what got me into that.
So this is why she's telling this story. So now go.
So it's based in the American Revolution.
Right.
Washington spies, all that.
And it's a real thing.
It really is.
Washington had spies. He
it's
had
following.
his own
It's basically
circle.
a real story. What
Right.
they're telling. And we would watch it, and me and you got into it.
First couple seasons were really good.
And then we kind of fell out of it. I think that was around the time we stopped having TV. We would stream.
Right. Okay. Don't say TV because it's not that we in Alabama don't have TV. It's not that we in Alabama can't pay our bills.
No, we just quit using DirecTV.
Right.
And then started streaming everything.
We started streaming everything, and this was early in the process before like YouTube TV was available here.
It was just us. We were going through a process, so we kind of fell out of watching our normal shows, and we've not, I guess, caught back up on it. Anyway, Mom would get so mad while we were watching it. She'd be like, "Can we watch something else?" And Clint would just look over and be like, "But I need to know who won."
I have no idea who won the American Revolution.
I don't know who won. So it was a running joke of, I don't know who won. I got to figure out who won, to the point where I was telling a friend of mine about it, and she got your number and just sent you a message that said the British won the war.
What?
And you just sit back, what?
You spoiled it.
So that was kind of the segue.
Well, that's my humor there because it's
we
like,
both did it, and then because I think this was around the time too that we played a lot of Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh yeah.
And I loved Assassin's Creed 3 because of the storyline, I guess. What time it was located.
Right.
Just that whole...
The setting.
So, we would always joke. I think I'm hitting something.
Stop hitting wires.
I think we would always joke, though, while we were watching Turn. You'd be like, to the left corner.
Yeah, there was a... I can't believe we're talking about Assassin's Creed on this. There's a section in the game there where you are...
you're basically doing the British is coming. The British are coming.
But who did that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's
Paul Revere.
There you go. So you're on horseback with you're riding the horse. You're directing the horse.
Directing the horse,
and Paul Revere's on your back. You got to go from these little villages to these little villages, but you don't know where they're at. They're not like located on the left,
and
so you have to hear him say, "All right, it's down this road.
Places.
Right, it's down this place. It's down this place. I think we're wrong.
We mustn't let them know we're here."
Yeah, and he would scream it seemed like, to the TV, and there'd be like British officers like right in front of you. He's like, "We must not let them know we're here. To the left, Connor."
And you're just like,
I'm super loud. I'm sorry, guys.
No, that's how
it was.
That's how it was. So that was the running joke with that. But then we started watching Turn, and it just turned into a big
American Revolution story.
Exactly. And then Mom would just be like, Can we watch something else?
Yeah, your mom gets bored with history. I don't like that.
I enjoyed it, but then we kind of fell out of.
Well, we fell out of it, I think, because, like you said, we got out of the
DirecTV,
the cable business. But when we went to something,
it didn't have
we had
everything.
watched everything to that point, and that's the thing with like some of these streaming services like Netflix is. You can't get the most recent season.
You have to wait till it uploads onto Netflix.
Well, you have to wait till that season's done, and usually by the time the next season's starting up,
that's when it's on.
And that's when it was on. I think that's kind of where we fell out because we
fell out of that. We fell out of watching Gotham, Suits,
which Corey said, and Corey, if you hear this, thank you for listening for the one time ever and not making fun of this podcast. But he said the last 2 seasons of Gotham were really good.
Yeah, I think Hammy has said it too.
Yeah, because it's kind of pushing toward that whole Batman thing.
Exactly.
Although DC wouldn't let them run with it for some reason. Like, they never had a...
Batman.
Well, I was about to say, I'm about to use air quotes, and then you did
I did it too.
But they didn't actually have a Batman. They had a vigilante. They never really had a Joker either because that's an intellectual property or something.
They have Supergirl, though, and they talk about Superman. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about it, but I don't know. It's just
Superman was on it. There's a Superman cast.
Okay.
Like, he's there.
Okay. I don't watch
I fell out. Well, because we talked about it, too. The DC TV shows were far better than their
the movies. Yeah.
So I would much rather...
Outside of maybe Wonder Woman. I gave Wonder Woman a lot of crap when it came out.
Wonder Woman was great.
Yeah.
Aquaman, not enough shirtless Jason Momoa.
Oh, my gosh. And this is why you'll never be on this show as a full-time cast member.
Well, we joked about it, but for it to be a water superhero. He was in the desert.
Yeah, he was.
There was no water to be found, and he was in the desert. And then
slap me and make me cry because I can't pee.
What was it? There were dinosaurs or something. It was the most ridiculous movie, and I'm just like, listen.
It's like Bright Light. It reminded me of Batman and Robin. I don't know if you ever watched the original Batman.
No.
1 and 2 were pretty good, and then they got where they threw Batman in or Robin in, and then Batman Forever they threw Batgirl in, and there's a lot of like neon lights and stuff, and that's what that reminded me of. Like there's colors everywhere.
I was like, for it to be a movie about a water superhero.
Well, they started in the water and they finished in the water. Isn't that good enough for you?
No. But you understood what I was saying. We watched it, but we were like,
yeah.
Because
and maybe that's what this right here is maybe something we can do too.
Because he just drops the ball.
Yeah.
They think they can outdo Marvel, which who has been building
exactly. They want the success of Marvel without building up to it. And the only thing that's been worth a crap.
Our complaint with Justice League was
there's no build up.
Well, they spent the entire first half of the movie explaining these characters.
Yeah. Who
they wouldn't have to if
they'd already built up Batman. Well, they didn't really build up Batman. They built up Superman. There was a Superman movie.
Wonder Woman.
Then they had to build up Wonder Woman in that movie because Wonder Woman didn't come out before that. It came out after.
And
then there was a new Batman in it with Affleck. So all those other movies aren't canon. So,
it was just...
we all know Batman. We all know his parents died. We all know that...
we know Batman. Seriously.
But who's Cyborg? Like, I know from Teen Titans with Maze.
Teen Titans. The old Teen Titans. Not
this new crap.
Not this cartoony Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans, the older one, was great because I watched it.
I'm going to go on a mini rant here. Today's cartoons suck.
Yes.
Like, and I don't mean it in the sense of because there's no violence, but like there's just there's goofy stories now. Like nothing happened. Like
is-
Ninja Turtles, they'd go and fight the Shredder. You know, they'd kill all these Foot Clan robots, whatever. Yeah, there's some violence in it, but the new ones are they're just goofing off the entire time. DuckTales. Oh, woo! I love DuckTales. Back in the day, the new DuckTales is nothing like DuckTales now.
It's just like I said, the old Teen Titans was great.
Yep.
But then they did this Teen Titans Go, and I don't know how they've taken a cartoon and made it more of a cartoon.
Right. They can be a cartoon and still be action packed.
But it was great.
Oh my gosh, Powerpuff Girls.
It was good. The originals.
The originals were good. They go out and they fight Mojo Jojo or him or the
Gang Green Gang.
The Gang Green Gang, and what's the other
Which
one?
is what they call Asheville. Did you not know that?
We're not saying the name of the town. Hush.
Well, then cut it out.
I don't want to edit this. Stop. Yes, I know. That's what they're calling the fan section of our local
The
high
Gang
school.
Green.
There you go. Our local high school.
Well, then cut out what I said.
Well, I'm not putting Mario coins in this. I'm pretty sure anybody that follows us anywhere can find out where we live. So, but I digress.
I'm pretty sure if they, since you've put out my Twitter, I'm pretty sure I know I have my location settings on.
Well, it's even more reason for them to go to your Twitter and become a follower because I think you're locked, aren't you?
I think I am.
So
I think I'm very much privacy. Very much so.
So,
But I don't think my Instagram is. Which is
as you're about to lock it right now. Well, but yeah, that was going back to Turn. That's my humor. I'll find something and
we just run
with it, and we'll continue to run with it until it's ran in the ground.
Which, by the way, it came on to work, like radio wise the other day.
Africa by Weezer.
No.
Oh, because we've run that in the ground.
That one. No. You know which one I'm about to say.
I don't know because I'm
Skeletor.
Oh.
It came on Clint, and I'm in the lab going, and I said, and he prayed. Oh my God, did I pray?
Dude, that loop on YouTube is freaking hilarious.
But it came on, and all I could think of was,
Skeletor's breakfast burrito.
the windows are locked.
I've introduced you guys to a lot of things that y'all probably never would have known about. That is just freaking hilarious.
But
You got to get in on Futurama though. There's some really great ones in Futurama.
there's a lot of things I've got to watch.
And I'm telling you, one of these days, perhaps Hammy and I are going to do some sort of a Simpsons podcast. We have to, for as much as we love and watch the Simpsons.
My thing is the only Simpsons I've seen are going to be Simpsons that you have watched. Because I never watched them.
Yeah. Well, guess what we can do?
I mean,
We can watch them.
I really don't want to.
So before we get out of here, big news coming this week. Obviously, we. Hold on, how am I trying to do this? Obviously, we're going to have another podcast next week, episode 30, big one. It's got ends with a 0. So this right here is going to conclude our original ones that we had mapped out when we first started the show.
Oh yeah, because y'all did 1 through 30 or like 10 through 30 or however many.
Yeah, it was 10 through 30 because we had 1 through 10, and then we did
a bonus.
11, then a bonus, then we did 11 through 30.
There you
We
go.
mapped it out. So big episode coming up for us. Stay tuned for the game because you guys will freak out when you hear it. Well, all 12 of our listeners will freak out. Oh, and I do want to say something else because don't let me get too far off track with this. I did notice apparently we've picked up a new listener in Michigan. So
Oh, would you look at that?
Michigan listener,
Thanks.
If you can identify yourself, we
Send a
might
message on Twitter.
send a message on Twitter. We will try to get you a nickname, and
We're gonna love if you ever do get huge.
we're yeah.
But no, could you imagine? Oh yeah, we give all of our listeners meat nicknames, and then
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like hot dog 1, corn dog 2.
there's only so many meat.
There's only so many meat. It'd be like platypus burger 1.
But I just chuckle at that. I mean, not that. I
was gonna say something else. The other thing I was gonna say, someone who has been on our podcast before, Brandon,
Turkey.
AKA Turkey. There you go.
I forgot what his name was there for a second.
He and another friend of ours, and some of you guys may recognize the name because he was going to help us out before he blew up with his schedule too, and that's Nick. Almost said
you almost said his last name, and I'm about to die.
I don't think it matters, but anyway, because I'm pretty sure he'll say it on his podcast. They have created a podcast, and I think they're 2, maybe 3 episodes deep. It's going to be every other week. They're going to release a new podcast.
What is it about again?
Nothing.
Cool.
Nothing. They're just going to get on there and talk until they decide they don't want to talk anymore, which is exactly what we've done pretty much this entire episode.
We've really barely talked about this game. We talked about it in the middle.
Well, that's what we always do. We talk about our week beforehand. We talk about the game, and then we put stuff at the end. We're over an hour, by the way.
Well, it's longer than what I thought it was going to be.
Well, that's what I told you. I said, hey, it's going to be like a 30-minute podcast or something. You know, we'll just get through it. You know,
well, we started telling stories. That's why.
Well, maybe you and I need to start doing a podcast.
There's only so many stories we could tell.
No, I mean we can. I mean, crap, Caitlin. We just talk about games and movies and all that kind of stuff. It's not like we couldn't do it.
Anyway.
But I'm committed to Hammy, so you're gonna have to find somebody else.
Thanks.
And not use my equipment or Hammy's equipment.
I was gonna say.
Or Nick's equipment. So, but yeah, they've got a podcast. What was the other big news this week?
I don't remember.
Maze's team is in the championship, so it's our last game. So we'll have a little bit more time. Although it does, it looks more and more like I'm going to be coaching basketball. But again, it's
you
not.
You threatened to have me coach the littles on basketball, and
I'm going to throw your name out there if they say they need a coach. I really am.
For the little ones.
Yep. Grant them.
If they send me a message or call me or something, I'm going to be like,
Okay, guys, come on, let's go.
I'll be like, look, I don't know if you're doing that right or not, because I really don't know basketball.
You gotta hit the 3.
Yes, ma'am. Grant would just look at me and go, I don't like you.
Yeah.
That's what he told me one day. I don't like you, so I'm going to quit buying you food then. That's what I told him.
Well, no more snow cones.
And then he looked at me, he came back, he's like, are you serious? I said, well, you keep on.
Well, we get the last game done, and then our team part, which that means I got to get in contact with one of the moms, but our team party for the C team is actually Saturday too. So I've got to figure out
when it is.
I think it's at 6. I'm pretty sure our game would be at 4. Maze's game would be at 4.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I may be
late or
going to it like right after the game, be a little bit late kind of thing.
Well,
which
are we
put
riding
Brandon
together?
there too.
Which that's not a question you need to.
Yeah.
Sorry.
See, I love that you're talking to me, but this is not a time to talk to me.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, we've actually got.
You're going to have to cut a lot of this out.
Why?
Well, you just started talking
I'm not cutting any of this out. People listen to our show because they love the humor and the banter back and forth with me and Hammy, not Treet.
Well, then
I'm a Treat.
Then I'm just going to leave. Don't ask for my help ever again.
I do greatly appreciate you standing in. I know Hammy does as well. And again, this is the only time Hammy ever listens to the podcast. Much like you, when he's not on it, because he's already lived it, he doesn't have to go back through it.
I will not listen. I can't.
You can't even.
Who was it? Maze that was listening to it with no headphones in the living room last time, and I just looked at him and said, "If you don't turn that off."
I don't like listening to me.
And then he turned it up, and I was like, "You're gonna die."
Well, that's when you take his phone and threw it out in the front yard. But anyway.
No, it wasn't. I didn't throw his phone. He threw his phone.
Oh, okay. Well,
recently.
But yeah, hopefully things will get a little bit better from our video game standpoint. Hammy's gonna kick your butt for braiding his.
I'm not doing anything to this.
Liar, as you undo it right now.
That's his too.
Anyway, but we do have a lot of fun. We're gonna get some more episodes hopefully in the bag just for times like this, so we don't have to rely so much on Caitlin. But Caitlin, I know Hammy appreciates it, and I appreciate it too. So thank you for being here today and talking about a game that you didn't necessarily know, but you did take some time and play through it and give your opinion about it, and we do appreciate that. So anywho, we are over an hour and 15 minutes into this now. So with that, I'm going to sign off, and guys, we will see you guys next week with a, pun intended, a real treat.
Hey now.